Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun.
This is Ariel, the Little Mermaid. She was modeled after one of these three women. Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Sherri Lynn Stoner.
Number 2.
My name is Sherri Lynn Stoner.
Number 3.
My name is Sherri Lynn Stoner.
Only one of these people is the real Sherri Lynn Stoner, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Co-star of Murder, She Wrote, Ron Masak. Tony Award-winning actress, Peggy Cass. Film and television producer, David Niven Jr. Star of Mama's Family, Vicki Lawrence Schultz. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Lynn Swan.
Hey. Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lynn.
Let's get right to the story presented by our first team of challengers, all three of whom claim to be Sherri Lynn Stoner. And here is her story. I, Sherri Lynn Stoner, am the real model behind The Little Mermaid. I am what's called in show business as a live-action reference model. As a reference model, I spend my workday in the land of make-believe. I might be asked to waltz with a storybook prince, converse with talking teapots, or fight off imaginary wolves while the Disney animators study my every move. One day, I spent hours submerged in a freezing outdoor water tank while the animators sketched my floating hair. The artists don't actually trace my body, but my work as a reference model helps them pick up subtle movements, gestures, and expressions that bring characters to life. Although my job isn't always a fairy tale, it's been a dream come true. Signed, Sherri Lynn Stoner. We are going to find out more about this real-life mermaid right after this. We are back and getting set for action. Panel, these three people all claim to be Sherri Lynn Stoner, woman behind The Little Mermaid. And Vicki, we'll start with you.
Isn't this silly? What a silly job. Number 1, how in the world did you get started doing this?
Well, I was in a production of Little Shop of Horrors with the composers, and they told me that I looked like the girl they were writing songs about.
Okay, number 2, what do you aspire to do?
I'm an actress, and I'm also a writer.
So this is like part-time work?
Uh-huh.
Are you well paid for this?
Uh-huh, I'm paid $500 a day.
Well, you didn't have to tell us. I wondered if you got a lot of money for that. Now, number 3, they put you in this outdoor water tank all day?
Yes.
And it was freezing?
Yeah, the tank wasn't heated. The water, it's not made for swimming.
Oh, but how rude of them. Should they have, like, heated it up for you? Number 1,
They were probably trying to make it like the ocean, cold.
no wonder they're so rich. They don't even heat their little tanks for the poor girl.
I agree with you. I think that's just terrible. We're staying with number 3 here for a second, and that is that why did it take so many hours in this freezing water?
Well, there was a lot of footage that was where Ariel was underwater, so there were a lot of frames that they had to do.
Was your hair longer then than it is now?
Yeah, it was not as long as it was as the Mermaid's was, but it was about down to here.
All right. Number 2, how do you fight imaginary wolves?
Well, with a broomstick.
But, I mean, is there a sort of a wolf there, or who are you foiling with or fighting with, or what movie was this for? Any of those questions you can answer.
Well, that was that was for Beauty and the Beast.
Number 1, how did you actually fight? Now, is there a wolf there, or is there just an imaginary thing? I haven't quite understood how this is done.
It's an imaginary thing. They added in afterwards.
So you just run around and pretend you're fighting with something that's not even there?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
That's why they call it imaginary.
clever, Lynn. Don't start on me.
Peggy.
Number 3, did you get more extra money like stunt pay for being in that tank all day? We're really worried about that tank.
No, it wasn't classified as stunt work. It was just a regular day rate for what they negotiated.
Well, now, number 1, do you always work for Disney, or do you, like, work for Barbera and other animators?
This was my first job. Currently, I'm working on Beauty and the Beast for Disney, so this will be my second job for Disney.
Oh, so you're not under contract to Disney?
It's a case-by-case basis.
I see. Number two, is the animation for Disney Pictures done in America or is it done elsewhere? Do you know?
It's done here.
Uh-huh. Number three, would you take this? Say they offered you a 5-year contract to do animation. Would you drop your other jobs to do this, to just do animation?
On a full-time basis,
Yes.
as if there were work every single day?
Yes.
For a lot of money, yeah.
I agree with you 100%. 100%.
Ron.
I've assumed that it's number 3 in this tank. Number 1, let's put you in this tank, this cold tank. Did they put up the bottom half of like fins on you?
No, they didn't, but to simulate the same wave movement as the fin, I wore flippers.
Number 2, did they film you while you were in there or videotape you at all?
Videotape.
So, number 3, the animators looked at the videotape and copied it from there.
Yeah, there were some of the key animators were also there while they were actually videotaping, and they also took some still shots from the videotape.
Number 1, there was a very famous dancer who was the image for Snow White. Do you know who that was?
That was March Champion.
Number 2.
That bell means, panel, your time is up, and it is now time to vote for either number 1, number 2, or number 3. Our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if the panel is completely fooled, the team will receive $3,000. So,
Gosh.
Vicky, it's a moment of truth. Whom
Pick a
did you
card,
vote
Lynn.
for?
Pick a
I
card.
can't. I'm not
Pick a
allowed. I just can't.
Okay, let's see. You know, I was really sure until you asked about the dancer and the March Champion thing and the...
I was trying to help you, Vic.
Well, you really mixed me up. And then I thought number 2 looked so much like the Little Mermaid. Didn't you think?
Well, I'm not allowed to think.
Well, she
I just
does.
read, and that's it. I'm not allowed to think in the voting. I can't
know, you're a
participate.
jock.
You're
Jocks
on
don't
your own.
think. And then number 2, I was sure her hair was too curly, but who knows that they didn't put a wig on her or something to fool us. I went with number 1.
Number 1. David.
Well, I think number 1 was extremely well briefed, as was number 3. But they do that to us on this show, as you well know. So I think number 2 was the real one.
Okay.
Just a hunch.
Peggy.
Oh, number 1's hair wouldn't last 5 minutes in a tank. No, she likes her hair too much. She'd never ruin her hair in that tank. And number 1, you look more like a surfer to me, but now number 2, you do look a little bit like the Little Mermaid, and it wouldn't hurt your hair. It's straight anyway. Okay.
Okay. Ron.
I didn't understand any of what they said.
You know, I've been doing this for a while now. I think I am beginning to understand
You know how
somehow.
I always get lookalikes, and number 3 looks like a Marky Post lookalike, and I'm sure she gets that a lot. Number 2 offered us a little too much information, especially on the salary, and number 1 did know that it was March Champion who was Snow White, so I voted for number 1.
Okay, the historical reference
whiz.
swayed Ron Masak. Well, let's find out. Let's recap the votes. Number 1, you have 2 votes. Number 2, you have 2 votes. And number 3, you don't have any votes. Now it's time to find out who the real Little Mermaid is. Will the real Sherri Lynn Stoner please stand up? It's number 2. Well, you know, I saw the movie, and I did see a lot of similarities in Ariel that I see in you now. The eyes, you know, yeah, the teeth, just like that. You did a terrific job. Let's meet your imposters and find out what they do. Number 1, your name, and what do you do?
My name is Maureen Davis, and I'm a disc jockey.
Disco jockey, okay. And number 3?
My name's Sandy Dell, and I'm a sales rep for a diamond manufacturer.
Whoa! Listen, there were 2 incorrect votes, and at $500 a vote, your team will receive $1,000. Thank you very much. You played the game very, very well. We'll be back with a woman who lived in her car right after this.